Yep. Bye. Woohoo! Oh boy. Oh my goodness. All right. Welcome to the bench. Hello, everybody. Steven, Zach, thanks for being here. Uh, and Terry 3Gs, welcome, man. Uh, I'm just taking a look at the chat here to see who else might be showing up or might be here. It looks like everybody's probably gone home already. So today I've got a Les Paul special, Gibson Guitar Company, another glorious guitar that they didn't build correctly. Uh, Hello, hi Hugh. Hugh, you're gonna love this. I don't know, and Stephen, if you're still here, you might get a kick out of this too, because Gibson and their undying desire to do stuff newly, differently, cheaply, whatever the case might be. Boy. All right, so we're gonna dive right in. We're gonna dive. Okay, we're gonna dive right in, but I'm gonna give you a flyover on this beautiful guitar. This belongs to my friend Sean, who I have worked for well over a decade. He owns some really beautiful guitars. He brought two of them in to me yesterday, and I was able to get them on my bench last night, get started on them. I've been working on a lot of component audio stuff, preamps and amplifiers. If you've seen the photos and such, it's been really fun. Kind of a break from working on guitars constantly. So let's take a look at this beautiful instrument real quick. There she is. Let me get my coffee out of the way. I'll take a sip of that. Woohoo! Brody, welcome, brother. Uh, Hi, Justin. Welcome, bro. Justin's got some cool stuff going on at his place. His video is really shaping up. So if he goes live at any point in time, you guys check that out. His system is really looking good. So this is a 2019 Les Paul Special. I don't know what he paid for it. Probably in the neighborhood of 15 to 1800 bucks, I would guess. You can look them up. I don't really care too much about that, aside from the fact that they really messed this one up. So we'll give you a flyby. Beautiful one-piece maple body, or I'm sorry, mahogany body, no cap. There's the side. You can see that it's a solid one piece, and you can see that it's book matched on the back. Beautiful, beautiful guitar. Look at that thing. Oh, careful, Sheryl Crow. And you know, so I was doing the setup on this, and the owner, Gibson, as we all know, on their typical Les Pauls, puts like Ernie Ball slinkies on them. Basically, it's a 10 to 46. So, and they're well aware that there are other string gauges out there, right? And you know, the question that I would ask all you techs out there and guys that build guitars, Steven and Hugh, and those guys that know, Rody, you might even know this. What do you have to do when you change string gauges on a guitar? Let's just say you go from a 10 to 46 to a set of these, which is a 10 to 52. And with these strings, the 30, 42, and 50 gauge strings are bigger than a normal set of Ernie Ball Slinkies. But what is the requirement in changing string gauges? What is something that you have to do every time you do that? Okay, Timothy. Okay. Uh, and to respond to that, Terry, he brought in an Epiphone Flying V that is just gorgeous. I might bust that out of the case and give you guys a look at that one. Uh, well, yes, that's one other thing. Beyond working on the nut so that the strings don't get stuck in there, which I've already done on this guitar. After you do the nut and you get that all set up, what's the last thing you do basically when you set up a guitar? At least for me. Uh, uh, yeah, well, I do. Yeah, that too. That's obvious. Yeah. It's a very important thing for keeping a guitar in tune. I'm going to keep you guys guessing. Um, yeah, and that too. Yep. You guys are guessing everything but the one, but the one thing that this really it has to do with where the saddle is and yeah, that too. All of that. Steven hit it on the head. Steven got you. Yes, yes, you. Everybody hammered it. Very good. Thank you. Okay, so Gibson on this guitar didn't place the saddle far enough away from the nut to be able to intonate this guitar properly without flipping one of the saddles around. And even then, I don't know if it's going to work. You know the trick where if you've got the angled side of that facing the nut, you can flip it around so that now you've got that little extra bit of distance that you can get that string. And here's the saddle for the low E string on this guitar. And I need to be very careful with these. Yeah, intonation. You've got to re-intonate your guitar if you change string gauges. It's a really important fact that not a lot of guys know, but it's important to do that because it will change the intonation of your guitar. So you go play a C sharp up at the 10th fret or 9th fret, and you know, a big old bar chord, and it won't typically be in tune. So we're having to change this. Now here in Gibson's wonderful wisdom, I'm going to get you down here in the action, and I'm going to work on this. I'm going to get some light so I can really see well. So here's the bridge. Now again, this bridge, low E, treble E, and the reason for that is the string tension pulling on that. We want the screws to get pulled forward so they won't go. If you had this spun the other direction with this, the potential is for these to move in that direction towards the nut, and you could lose the intonation. But they have these little clips. This genius little tiny fucking clip. This little thing. And you know, it pains me to know that they would, number one, do this and give you such a, you probably can't even see that in the camera. But this is like a retainer clip. And rather than doing the whole, you know, on the old bridges, they would drill a hole and they would run a piece of wire up here to help retain these set screws, right? Now they've done this. Have you seen these, Hugh? I'm really curious if any other techs out there, or Steven, if you've seen these little clips, and they go, you can see them in the other saddles. They're right here, 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 and here, and then this clip is supposed to go back into this position. You've seen these. Well, again, this is, unfortunately for me, this is the first Les Paul I've seen with this type of clip. I don't know how long they've been using these types of things because, again, this is the first one I've seen. So I haven't had to do this type of process on a guitar for quite some time. So I think it's legit. So now what I have to do, I have to get this clip back in here, and it'll probably go really smoothly now that I'm on air, but I tried to do it last night, and this clip literally popped out of here and landed on the floor under my bench where I had been working all day, so it wasn't real tidy, and it took me a good long while to find it. So you can imagine my frustration at that point. I was like, good grief, I should have had this guitar done. It would have been done last night had I not lost this little genius clip. And again, I wouldn't have to do this if Gibson had put the saddle far enough back. And on this guitar, here's what I would say, Gibson. You placed this saddle nearly 1/8 of an inch too close to the nut, regardless of what gauge string, for this bridge to work properly with the saddles in this position where the slant goes, which it doesn't matter. That is absolutely no consequence. Oh man, yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna try and put this thing back together again as quickly as I can. I have to remember I need this saddle needs to go in here opposite of the rest of them. So I'm gonna put that, oops, I'm sorry. That would be opposite for sure. We're gonna place that in there. I'll move it up to this side. Now, gotta hold that in place. Well, I really don't have to, but I want to do this all at once just to try it. and get this clip. This is gonna go. I'm gonna do it. Here we go. Without it, and then it falls off sideways like that, and then falls out. So I'll have to do it again. I'm gonna leave the saddle out of it for right now. And if somebody has some advice on a good method to get these little clips to stay put, I would really appreciate it. Okay, so we kind of got it in there now. And we're going to go ahead and put the screw in hopes that that clip stays put and doesn't tilt to the side. Okay, we've got it. So actually this is going a little bit easier than I had anticipated last night. Okay, so nope, that clip is slipping off. It's turning to the side. Okay, see, here we go. Gibson, you guys as engineers need to be, your guys as engineers, man. This is just the pain in the ass that this is versus what it was when you had the old style. I mean, it's probably a lot cheaper. So your $1,800 guitar, you just saved, I don't know. Yeah, and there the clip goes all sideways again. So we're gonna try and get this. Any advice on another way to do this? So I'm gonna start pulling the saddle. I'm gonna hopefully you can see what I'm up against here. Got to get this clip to sit in here correctly. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and use the saddle itself as I tighten the screw up to flatten out that clip in the space that it's getting fairly tight, so I'm a little worried about bending something. Let me get a, whoops, not that one. Let's use this one. Boy, sometimes when guitar companies change the design of something that was already really great, it's like robo-tuners. I mean, again, one of the dumbest inventions in the history of guitar manufacture. Who has robo-tuners on their Les Paul? Yeah, this clip came out of here, and again, I've got to try and get it back in position. I'm trying not to poke my finger with my poker, and I can't get the thing to lay flat. So I'm going to start over again and try and get that clip to lay in the position it's engineered stupidly. This is like, you guys, I don't like to bitch a lot about stuff just because it's kind of negative, but at the same time, this is important stuff that people need to know when they're buying one of these guitars. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Gibson guitars and people buying them, let's see. Oh, Ed, hello. Oh, yeah. Yeah, robo-tuners are bad. Speaking of Gibson guitars, I have a student. Y'all may have a couple, 4 years ago, I built a kit guitar, an SG, for a client of mine, a guitar student of mine named Charlie. And he sent me a message, let's see, 2 nights ago, literally 2 nights ago. You know, Marshall, just thinking about, he moved away, and so he's no longer taking lessons, and I don't get to see him often, and he's just a dear friend of mine. And I built a couple guitars for him. I built a Telecaster out of a kit that we purchased for his son for his college graduation. Marshall, I'm dying to get a Les Paul. What do you recommend? I'm relying on you for advice. My advice was buy a Les Paul Standard. He's not like a wealthy man, but he's got, you know, time and money to spend. He's worked very hard. And I recommended a Les Paul Standard. And I said, don't get all the switchy switch, clicky click, pull pots and coil taps and all that stuff. He sent me a message literally 15 minutes later. It's on its way. I just ordered it. So one of my friends is now going to own a brand new Les Paul, which will likely have this type of bridge in it, unfortunately. But this can be done. But I'm gonna do my best to stay busy here. So there's gonna be a new Les Paul owner in our guitar world, which is really cool. They're great guitars. Don't misunderstand anything I'm saying here. But this is unbelievable. Again, I've got to do this without, and my screwdriver is magnetized, so that's not helping. I'm going to demagnetize. This is one of those moments where the demagnetize option comes in handy, because I don't want that little, I'm going to use this to try and help get that little clip pushed into place, and it falls out again. Have to be very, very careful not to let this thing pop out of here, because it will vanish. And luck, probably with my luck, it'll land in my garbage can or something. And the clip doesn't stay, there aren't grooves for this clip to stay in place in here. It's just flat. So maybe this is a bad, maybe I've picked the one really bad one to show for an example of how dumb this engineering is on these. Okay, that's in there. It looks like it's sitting in about the right position. So again, I want to be really careful not to drop this. Okay, so there we go. Got the saddle in there, and I'm gonna try and get this. There it went. It's moving again. Can't get this, and my screwdriver's still magnetized. Come on, demagnetizer. What a struggle for such a dumb little thing. Terry, it's too jammed into a heritage brand. Yeah. Yeah. That's great point, Terry. Okay. So we're going to start over again. This is the second time, third time, fourth, fifth, sixth time I've tried this. This should have been done last night, and I could have sent this guitar home with him, but I've got to deal with this little thing. And I hope you guys are really enjoying watching me struggle with this, because this is a joke. This is a very tiny little part that doesn't have any type of retainer clip to hold it in place. So the moment I go to put the screw through there, the little clip wants to go at an angle like that. Come on. All right. So now the saddle is in place, and the clip has moved again, so we'll start over. And I'm probably going to be doing this. I mean, 60 bucks an hour is what I charge. I mean, I'm not cheap. What I know how to do, I possess a skill that people need. And for me to have to wrestle with something like this and not just get it done for something so simple, you guys, good grief. Forgive me for bitching so much, but this is a joke. Gibson, please stop doing this stupid shit. You guys are morons. The engineers there, they're all about making it cheap. Sorry, my head's right, and I'm going to point you at the action here. Going for cheap, yet expensive engineering. You know, because they sell a guitar for 1,800 bucks, and then if you want to that you have to re-intonate when you change string gauges, and you can't even re-intonate it. Push this down into place. And, you guys, I will get this during this live broadcast, and I will not stop until I've got this back to where it's supposed to be. Maybe. Nope, the clip slipped out of there again. I mean, does somebody have advice? I mean, Hugh, you've seen these before. Have you had to deal with one falling out and having to get it back in there? Yeah. Yeah, this is I mean, I am astonished at how dumb this is. If you're a manufacturer and you're aware that you've made something like this that requires this type of fortitude and diligence and skill, and it would be great if my hands were the size of a 2-year-old and that I had the knowledge that I have about repairing guitars as a 2-year-old. That might be a better. So I'm going to go at it a little bit differently here. Okay. Oh. And the clip is still wanting to move out of position and turn sideways like that, in which case I can't get it in. Oh, dude. Yeah, well, you're witnessing it now, man. It's again, it's got a hearing my frustration in my voice. Gibson needs to be held accountable for this. And no, I'm really proud of Sean for buying one, but I will never buy another new Gibson guitar. Never. And I love my Gibsons. Do not misinterpret what I just, and there it goes, it popped out. Okay. Where did it go? It landed right here on my bench. Okay, so that clip, did you guys see where it went? Probably under my computer. Okay, it didn't land anyplace obvious, which is what that clip is designed to do. So again, Gibson, you know what I have to say about you? It's really fuck you. You guys are fucking idiots. You guys have ruined the logical construction of guitars. There it is. Okay, so it managed to get it managed. I had a little fold. It managed to go under that. Right? That's just how they roll. That's what happens when you're working on something small like this. All right. So Quentin James is going to get a good video out of this one. And I hope he put up a video of me fucking up that B string on that classical guitar I changed strings on the other day, which actually turned out to be really fucking cool. And the young lady that I did the work for actually took a guitar lesson from me the other day. So she's really... okay, so... let's see. If I do this, I drop that in there. Now, let me try this. I'm gonna get inventive here. I'm gonna put this to hold that saddle in place. I wish I'd thought of this before. Now, I can see that the clip is looking pretty okay. And let me get the saddle pushed up against that clip. Okay, and hopefully the clip doesn't come popping out of there. Now, can I get the screw started? You guys, oh boy. Okay. Will it go? Will it go? Oh, you guys, I think I may have figured out how to get this. Nope. And of course, as if as if this would just fall right there, right? It'll fall underneath my computer, right? And if you drop one of these screws, it has this special, which I just about threw it off my bench right there, it has that little special tip on it. Don't lose one of those. Okay. 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 Oop. So I've got the screw in the saddle, and I've got the threads started, I think. Let's see. Yeah. See if I can, boy, working so hard for one small little thing that Gibson has totally screwed you as a customer with. This is, okay. So now I've got to get that tip to land in. There it went. And the clip has slipped again. It doesn't sit flush. I'm going to go ahead and pull this saddle up tight to hopefully squish that. And again, when I was intonating the instrument, I had to flip this saddle around to get that little extra bit of distance. So, holy smokes. Yeah. Yeah, Zach, you're seeing what I'm dealing with, man. It sure is frustrating to have to work so hard for something so basic and rudimentary. Let's see if I can, if I move the saddle. Yeah, the clip stayed put. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that as tight as I can get it. Just get it as far back. And the other thing is that those clips take up space inside here. So you're losing the thickness of that clip in the amount that you can move these saddles back. And it would also really help if Gibson put the saddle in the correct position on the top of the guitar, but it's not like they could do that, right? So let's see if I can get this saddle placed back on here. There we go. And so I got it. So that was my yeah, forgive me if I'm losing if I'm getting glitchy here. It seems to be that only on my computer here at work, because people are using up bandwidth probably. There's probably some stuttering going on. Error: YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Yeah. Okay, open widget. Okay. Yeah, so here we are buffering. Sorry about that. Only when I go live will it do this. All right, so now we have this all dialed in. So now I can retighten my strings back up and hopefully play this guitar instead of messing with fixing stuff that shouldn't be broken. Incredible. Hey, Gibson. I wonder how much he paid for this guitar. Crazy. And he just brought it in ultimately for a tune-up, but when he didn't change the string gauge. He went to using these what are they called, heavy bottom, I think shortly after he bought this guitar. So I don't know the time frame on it. So he brought it in to me, ultimately complaining about the G string going out of tune, which always happens. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. R&D. What in the hell? What is going on here? I don't know if I can refresh this. I'm going to try. Okay. Um, we shall see. Nah. Okay. Yeah. So for some reason YouTube doesn't want me streaming because I guess I speak too many facts. Maybe they hear facts and they want to censor it. I hope that my video is coming in okay. This is really annoying. Hopefully you guys are seeing stuff all right. Let's see where we are. Man, nailed it. Nailed it. There it is. I just did that by ear. That's so cool. Alright, let's give these strings a stretch. Which I'd already done, but because I had to fix that saddle, because they didn't put the saddle, the bridge in the correct location, now I get to do my job on this part of it twice. We're just stretching. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to get these things stretched out, and we'll check... first things first, I want to check the intonation on this low E, because I had to move... We'll see if the guitar can actually be intonated by moving that, or swapping that saddle around. Okay. So, really? Well, I'll be dipped. Look at that. Battery's dead. Let's check it. Let's see here. Yeah, it's turning. I hope the stream is going okay. Charlie, welcome, brother. Hi, man. I hope this stream is going okay. I have no idea why I'm experiencing this. It says that there's some latency going on, or buffering. All right, so let's take a look. Now the guitar is laying flat, so this is the inappropriate way to intonate a guitar. You should, my humble opinion, you should do it while you're in the playing position. And with this saddle, well, I think we've gotten it. So we have just enough room to get this guitar intonated properly. Ah, no, Energizers. We buy pretty good Energizer batteries here. So I thought I would share that with y'all, just to kind of give you an idea of the way Gibson has engineered their stuff to do stuff cheaper, but they make, boy, I think terrible engineering decisions, which that's been discussed for subject of great debate for years. Yeah. It's probably buffering and such. Although now it's saying I have an excellent connection, so hopefully the video is going. Welcome, Preston, man. It's good to see you, bro. Looking forward to your stream tonight. That should be fun. And then it's got the buffering issue again. And I'm using Prism instead of OBS. Gary, hello, bro. Oh, dude, I got some drums. They're sounding really good. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if this stream is working or not. So anyway, I want to plug this thing in just so you can hear it. It's got the P9. I haven't heard this thing yet. I've actually been working on it for about 2 hours for a fucking string change and an intonation and setup. That should take a half an hour to 45 minutes at the most. But I got to wrestle with their awesome engineering feat. All right. I gotta play this thing and hear it. And it's got, I think P90s in it. I don't think it has P100s. So I'm hoping this video is working okay. And I gotta be careful about Sheryl Crow. She'll get upset if she's in my video. Beautiful woman, great songwriter. And I hear she's pretty cool. And her guitar player is a lefty, by the way. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Woohoo! Oh yeah, I'm hearing sound. I'm gonna tune her up. This thing sounds great. Man, this thing sounds really good. thing's in pretty good shape. Now let's check the intonation one more time. Thanks for listening. Um, let's see. I'm going to check this one more time because I did go through the entire intonation of this instrument and discovering that the G string needed to have the saddle reversed and the low E string needed to have the saddle reversed because of the placement of the bridge isn't in the correct place. It should have been placed 1/8 of an inch closer to the nut, but that's Gibson for you. And you're not going to be able to see my, so we're still sharp. It's ever so slightly sharp, and I can't flatten it anymore. So this is as close with this set of strings that this owner of the guitar loves, closest intonation as I can get. So this guitar will never be intonated correctly with this set of strings on it. Really sad. $1,800 guitar. Oh, Zach, that's cool. Justin Maya is also a left-handed guitar player, bass player. So the G string is still way too sharp. We'll adjust that one. Again, that's the other saddle that I had to flip around backwards to make because of the position of the saddle being in the wrong place on this guitar. Really sad. The bummer. Guitar feels really nice. Still sharp, ever so slightly. We'll see if I can get enough out of this to get the intonation correct. That's as far as I can go. It ran into the clip. I've got the thickness of that clip. I can move it back, but the clip's in there, so it's blocking more movement of the saddle. Again, Gibson's genius design. I hope they watch this video. See how truly disgusted I am of this guitar. This is a really beautiful guitar, but still sharp. So this G string will never be intonated correctly with this set of strings. I mean, I'm not a Gibson basher by any stretch, but the B string's a little bit sharp. We're going to flatten that one out a bit. I should have enough room to move that saddle. And I know you can't see my tuner, but I'm working here, so I don't want to get too. There we go. It's still a little bit sharp, and with intonation, I would rather have again a string be ever so slightly, and that's as far as I can move that one. It's bottomed out. Without switching the saddle around, which I can't move it anymore, and it's still slightly sharp. I mean, boy, it's a bummer. Such a sad thing. I wish I had known that the high E string is sharp. Again, the whole bridge is too far towards the neck, which when you're building an instrument, that's one of the easiest measurements to make. Like, literally one of the simplest things to do. I mean, it's all math, and you can use a tuner to find the exact proper place to put the bridge. This is inexcusable. Still sharp. And it's as far back as I can get it. So what I'm going to end up doing for my client I'm not going to do this live on the air. I'm going to take these saddles off and flip them around and hope that I can get enough adjustment there to get the guitar properly intonated. In that process, I will do my damnedest to let those little clips fall out of there. Again, the guitar, I can't just intonate it like a normal guitar because the bridge is in the wrong location. I've said that so many times. It's tragic. Um, I'm gonna look up the value of this guitar real quick just to find out what one of these might have sold for in 2019. Detail. This is the reason I don't own a guitar or don't appreciate guitars with P90s. That's why I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan of that at all. And I have hardly any distortion on this at all. The middle position is great, but that is not allowed in my home. Even a Strat's quieter than that.
Do you want to talk to him about straps?
Sure. Can I call him back?
Well, he'll call you back here in just a minute.
I gotta finish this up. I'll get back to him.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Cool. All right. So, amazing, isn't it? I mean, our electricity here is really dirty, so every guitar is a little bit noisy anyway, and there's nothing I can do about it. The building's 100 years old. Yeah. Yeah, so again, I'm not a fan of P90s at all. Never have been. I wouldn't own a guitar if somebody hadn't given me one with P90s in it. They're just too noisy. In any instance, not a fan. $1,000. Yeah, so Les Paul standard. I'm gonna Google it right now. 2019 Les Paul special. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah. Right now, ZZ Sounds. This exact guitar used at Guitar Center is $999. Brand new today. This guitar is $1,799, and that's probably what the owner paid for this in 2019. Maybe $16.99 or $15.99 at the time. To have that type of problem, literally, this needs to be centered about 1/8 of an inch that direction. And you all know what that would entail. Or maybe you don't, but yeah. Richard, welcome, man. Hello. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I just thought I'd share that little bit of Gibson genius engineering and poor quality control on their instruments once again. I'm lucky I have older models that when the quality control was stellar. My guitars are in really good shape. So I'm going to let y'all get to your days. Hopefully you have a great one. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Be sure to check out Preston Smith tonight. I believe he goes on at 6 or 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Daylight Time. And then he'll be followed by Richard the Falcrow on his YouTube channel for Wednesday night hang. I think he's going live tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, yeah, 17.99 at Sweetwater or NZZ Sounds both. Exact same model. So, hey, thanks, Gary. I'll stay in touch with you on that. Hopefully, I'll have a track to you before too long. Maybe even today. Peace, y'all. Have a wonderful day. Come on, Gibson, please.